They play video games and they just hope people come in.
What did I just say? What did I just say? I know I said I was gonna get this out earlier in the week, but I didn't get it out. So this is a follow-up to what Harris and Ludwig were talking about, and we're having a discussion about streaming. A lot of you thought this was pretty cool, so we're gonna go ahead and react to this new video that they put on there, and everything should be good. So we'll see. We'll see what they have to say about a lot of things. It says 5 things nobody tells you about being a big Twitch streamer. This doesn't apply to everybody, but it's a lot of good lessons that we can learn from a lot of different things and aspects of people that are up there, because they have the tools on how to grow. And we remember when we talked about Ludwig, his growth is in the last 2 years, so he has fresh knowledge on how to grow. And my personal opinion is to start a YouTube channel, Facebook VODs, Facebook Watch, and grow those simultaneously, and then move over to the live streaming platform, because that will generate you enough traction working on that medium, and then coming to live stream if live streaming is your passion. Let's see what they have to say and react to this
29
awesome
seems
stuff.
crazy late to jump into that speech. I feel like she should have hit you at 24 with that one.
You know, surprisingly, she was more okay with it the first time, but I think that's only because she hates video games.
You know, how many people actually think their parents said, hey, video games is a waste of time and you should do something else?
Hi.
Until I got my first Twitch paycheck and stuff, and they're like, I guess you probably can do something.
You have hundreds or thousands of eyes on you, you don't realize are a thing.
You don't realize are a thing.
Yeah, things that you just can't understand doing this as a career until you're doing it as a career.
You go first, Harris. You go first. I demand it.
Okay, very first one, the amount of thought and planning that has to go into every piece of content.
Good one. Damn it. That's a good one.
I know. I wanted to say it before you did.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you should probably spend a good amount of time, maybe even as much as you spend streaming.
So that's something I personally don't do, is like today. Well, today I actually did that. I planned out exactly what the live stream is going to look like. We're doing reactions to stuff, recording everything, and with the intent of putting it on YouTube. That you'll see the fruition of this whole thing, because obviously it's going to be made into a video and you're probably watching this on YouTube. But anyways, this is a thing that I know a lot of live streamers don't do. I know a lot of people just go live and figure it out, and you can see the people that are growing, they actually take a lot more into their streams. Like Emma Rome, who's I've just met, she's amazing. I think her model is she became partner. She's only been streaming for like 9 months, and she's already partner, has like 150 average viewers, and she methodically plans out what she's going to do on stream and how she's going to stream, and then stop streaming at a certain point. A lot of us love video games so much that we just stream and just stream and just stream, and it's like, this is what we're going to do, is we're going to stream and play our favorite game and hope people come in, and not planning the content around what we're going to do when we go live, because we have to entertain you. You gotta be there for you, and if we're doing it for us, it's not particularly working out that way. So some people get away with it, but the people that have the meteoric rise, it's not by accident. So
a lot of the new streamers, a lot of the small streamers that want to grow say, I'm going to go live this many days a week. They play video games and they just hope people come in.
What did I just say? What did I just say?
Get to be, you know, like you said you put like 2 to 3 hours into that slideshow.
Yeah, I took the day off the day before to make it.
Chat, genuine question. How many of you have spent 2 to 3 hours planning a single live stream on Twitch?
Twice. That's it. And it's not 2-3 hours. It's probably like 30-40 minutes. That's where I know I'm failing.
I think the live stream was shorter then, right? I think I spent about 3 hours making it, and I think it was about a 2-hour stream. So it's 5 hours of work, but only 2 hours live. It's like movies. Movies, pre-production is much longer. Pre-production and post-production are much longer than the actual production of the show, the movie, or whatever it is.
Yeah, the most difficult part about my job is figuring out like what is a clickable video. What are the options I have around me, and what can I turn into a clickable and then enjoyable video? And that literally I will have to think about it for like hours.
This is why I struggle with YouTube. This right here, thumbnail, title creation. I can probably make a video and it'll probably be very good, or at least enough that somebody will enjoy it, possibly, who knows. But like, I feel like I can make a YouTube video, but naming it and getting people to click on the YouTube video is the struggle, and my creative juices are not there yet, and I got to figure out how to make them better in that aspect. I got to work on that connection to like, oh, it's a good title. Click on it. That's what I don't have. And that's what I got to work on. I know I need to work on that. And that's the bane of preventing me from going through YouTube. But hearing that he spends so much time on it, very, very good.
But for every single video to make sure I've got something useful and entertaining.
All right, I got one. Your setup doesn't matter.
Ooh, Harris will say something, but I have something to say on that. That is 100% fact. People think they need the best lighting, the best stuff, and all these things to live stream. You literally need, in my opinion, 2 things. 1, a camera that you can focus in, that can see you as a person, and 2, or some representation, like a VTuber thing that you spend a lot of time on, that, you know, that you can see, something that somebody can see, move around and interact, that you're interacting, that has gestures or something like that, or yourself. Plus, good audio. No one wants to watch a stream with terrible audio. Terrible audio will ruin any aspirations you have on YouTube or streaming. And then some representation of you is I think I was doing the John Cena. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, something like that. Let me see what Harris says.
I like that answer. Tell me more.
Everybody focuses their first question on what your setup is, and it really doesn't matter that much. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule. Sure. But I think if you ask, 95% of big streamers what they have, some of them don't even know. Sykkuno uses one OBS scene. Lily Pichu did the same before Michael Reeves fixed it. XQC's...
That's crazy that they use one OBS scene and we're over here rocking like scenes and transitions and stuff like that, thinking all that shit matters.
Was never done by him. I don't think he knows what the hell mic he's even using. And so these details are...
Has anybody seen XQC stream? The man streamed in his bedroom and is just like nothing in the background, no lights, nothing for a while. He just didn't even care. He just streamed and people loved it because he was a personality and he probably put a lot of thought into his streams and what his content was going to be. Content, people. Content.
At the end of the day, just details, and they can help, but I promise you the most important part is the content, and no matter how good your setup is, that won't change that fact.
I don't know if
content
anyone in chat has noticed. My content has changed quite a bit over the last year.
Sure has.
Or 2 years. Because I started doing way more gear reviews and like high-end gear reviews and nice cameras and lenses. And I still do that occasionally because it's important to know. But it's been much more geared around what is necessary, what will actually improve your content. I've done a lot more videos like how to turn your webcam, how to make your webcam look like a DSLR,
Yeah.
Or how to,
those are good videos
as a webcam to an
That's a good video as well. Go watch Harris
and
Alpha
if you're
Gaming
using your phone with a $9 app versus spending $1,000 on a camera and lens setup. Are you really getting an extra $891 of value out of that?
Yeah, your phone is an amazing camera. It's so good, and that's what actually Island Grown, the Pokemon box opener, card opener, does on Twitch. He uses his camera, and you need a high quality camera to capture your cards. And
he just uses his phone.
Everybody has a good phone. Yeah, he just uses his phone.
Dude,
he
phone
uses
cameras
an app
are amazing.
captures it.
Phone cameras are amazing.
They're so good. It's very true that your camera on your phone is probably the best thing if you really want to get started with something nice, but a C920 and a Blue Yeti will get the job done.
It's harder to make a good YouTube channel with crappy gear. You can still do it with your phone, but like the bar is just so...
The bar is high on YouTube, but that's why a lot of people don't use their camera for their face and just get good audio and then use B-roll and voiceover. That works as well on YouTube. So if you don't have the glorifying setup, like the front camera, the lights and stuff, the shadows and everything like that, the 3-point lighting setup that you can use, green screen or whatever, people just go right to B-roll and footage, and then you just talk over it, and then everything should be fine.
So high on YouTube, and you need to treat streaming as just a way to connect with your audience, and then it just doesn't matter.
Streaming is changing right before our very eyes. I think this is the thing about streaming now. It is your live content doesn't really matter too much, because once you're done live, it doesn't get shared or anything like that. Your content has got to live somewhere else. Your live streaming is to interact with the people that want to spend time with you and on that personal level.
I agree.
All right, my next one.
My thoughts. My thoughts. Am I wrong?
Careers.
I keep shaking my desk. I'm sorry.
More often than not.
I get really
Super
animated.
Short. But
okay.
If you look at, I'd actually love to see a poll on this. I wonder if Devin Nash has these numbers. I want to see how many Twitch partners stream for less than 30 people.
Like current Twitch partners?
Current Twitch partners stream for less than 30 people. Not that there's anything wrong. Again, not there's anything wrong with streaming for less than 30 people.
Nothing wrong with it.
Been there at some point. But because most streamers and even most YouTubers once they hit that initial, they have a video that pops off, right?
Mhm.
Or they collaborate with someone, or they do something on Twitch that brings them up to partner status, and they don't know how to maintain it. They don't know how to innovate, and they keep doing the same thing, and the internet is fickle. And they find someone else that's more in.
The internet is fickle. They'll drop you in a hat, and that's, you got to keep progressing. You got to keep focusing on your content. And that goes into the very first point: is think about what you're going to be doing. And if you're not ready for that grind, the times of just going live and playing your favorite game is, I believe it's dead in the water. You got to innovate your content, find a new lane, find a new thing that you enjoy that you possibly can keep going with.
Right? I see so many partners that hit partner. They do that partner push and they get there, and then within a couple months they're back down. Someone in chat saying it's all about virality. That I'd say virality is the reason I had a music career, and it's the reason it died, is because we entirely relied on the success of a single Vine, and we weren't able to innovate off of it. And even with a
multiple revenue streams,
million views within a year and a half, we were making no money anymore.
Yeah, it's more like you start creative, you find something that works, and then you keep doing that thing, and then you have to also keep innovating to make sure that you don't die because people get bored of your thing. I will add on to that. I went into streaming thinking I will only do it 5 years, and I'm still kind of on that same path. But I'd like to do something longer term, something more creative.
So here's, I mean, I don't know what he's going to say, but pivoting your content to me is something that we should all be doing. We get popular in streaming. The next best thing is to make a podcast. Podcasts live forever. People can listen to that. And that's a really good medium. If you have good friends that talk about things, like I said, we had that whole Discord chat about Marvel Comics. We should translate that into some kind of content for us. We could translate this teaching into something else. We can make a podcast. We can do a YouTube series. We can do another YouTube channel. There's a lot of things we can do, but if you're just live streaming and not pivoting into other avenues to keep yourself relevant or to spread yourself out so that if your live streaming career were to take a hit, you're not going to lose the money that it brings in, is the pivotal play. It's the power play, if you will. That's how I feel.
Stay in the space.
Maybe film, maybe a book, maybe a TV show, maybe I don't know, could be just a podcast, just something that I think is
podcasting is what I really want to get into, for real.
We'll go to my second one. As much of a creative outlet as you might think YouTube or Twitch is, it is so impermanent compared to every other creative outlet. Mainstream creative outlet.
Like what? What do you mean?
Your stream doesn't matter after the stream ends, and your YouTube video only matters for maybe at most like a year or two. It's just that trends come and go, and videos are being made every single day by the thousands, hundreds of thousands probably. Nothing you make is permanent and will be remembered. You will only be remembered for your body of work. And this obviously has exceptions for people like Bill Wirtz or something like that. But for streamers, pretty much every single video you do and stream you do won't really matter. It's just going to be your body of work that matters. That
is the best thing probably somebody could say about the content. And while we love video games, we all know video games don't stay on top forever unless you're playing like League of Legends, Dota, Call of Duty. You know, those three games they've been making content for years and years. Probably FIFA too, since it's such a very popular game. But like when you look at like sports people, I play a sport, really good at sport. I make the professional league at X sport. I then go into broadcasting. I then go into podcasting, and now I'm relevant because now I have a podcast, right? And your podcast is about the thing that is the content that is attached to something that will never go away. I don't see the NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, European football, soccer, for you guys out there, going away. So making content around those things and around those teams for a passionate fan base of millions to potentially billions of people that like said thing, that keeps you in the game. But when we go into video game space, we're in a niche market. We have a niche market. We love our market, but like people are fickle, and we talk about it. They have time. There's like 18 people they want to watch at the same time. They might not watch you at the same time, or since they come in late, they just missed an hour of what you want to do, what you've been doing. But then again, going back and watching a VOD is not the same as watching a video, because the video is curated. A VOD has a lot of interactions that you're like, I wasn't there. I don't really get it. Or I wanted to ask this question, then you can't ask the question. And then you get mad at the person asking the question that they didn't ask the question you wanted to ask, because that's something that you're really passionate about. There's a lot of things that like detract VOD, usage and reactions to. So having something that's available in a medium that people can consume anywhere they go, and if they enjoy it, they're going to consume it 100%. And they're not going to fall off, because if it's about a topic they enjoy, if they like Pokemon and you're a Pokemon podcast, but at the same time, there's not enough new things about like Pokemon that can keep you entertained forever. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing, like something new has to come out consistently. So, and then you have to be paying attention to that. But like, sports is a really good thing, because sports goes all the way around, and you can miss a show, but it's still relevant when you watch it.
So what's the advice there?
That's my 2 cents. I don't know if I could be wrong on that one.
Thinking of it as
I ran on too long on that. Sorry about that.
Outlet. I don't know if that's the best way to think of it. That impermanence matters in a way, because I think a lot of people get into it because it's like, you know, more accessible than filmmaking or writing,
yes,
or acting or whatever. But I don't think it holds the same value that those do in terms of how they're seen. Like, no one looks back on Equals 3 or
I was gonna bring up Equals 3. What's that? Ray William Johnson?
Ray William Johnson, yeah.
So
no
many
one
of
looks
those.
back on any specific video. I couldn't name one. You know, maybe some of his songs, but that's also music, which is a little different. But yeah, the videos and the streams, they really don't matter after they're done. So you can have the greatest stream of all time, and it can have 100,000.
That's my thought right here. I think I said this too.
Go live the next day. And that can suck.
That is I had a really big stream, several big streams, in fact, and then riding off that high and then coming in and realizing that, hey, it's just not going to work out, because while I captured a bunch of those people, I stream at the same time as the person that gave me that big raid, and they're still going to watch that big person. So the only way to do it is to position myself to change my streaming habits to either stream before that person or after that person, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like Unis Honest. I think Unis Honest kind of drove this point home a lot.
I can think of one more stupid one.
Yeah.
You will never,
rounding out to a nice 5.
People do not look for already existing answers before they ask for personal answers. This is another thing that almost stressed me out until I like learned to roll my eyes at it. But so yeah, 3 days ago, when our distributor screwed up and 100,000 copyright claims went out to Streambeats users, which by the way have all been reversed. We got it all taken care of. I immediately tweeted out from the Streambeats account and then retweeted from my personal account, hey, this happened. We're taking care of it. It's not going to be a problem. It was a mistake on somebody else's part. We will get it fixed. Literally the rest of the day, 100 tweets, screenshots of copyright claims. How come I'm getting copyright claimed? Hey, I thought you said this was safe. How come it's not safe? And I spent the entire day copying that original tweet and pasting it in responses to every single person. Please read this. I already gave you the answer to this for 2 days. I like made big announcements. Please share this. This is exactly what happened. And you will get hundreds and hundreds of tweets that from people didn't even check.
Yeah.
And they think to themselves.
Same thing happens on Twitch. The moment you do any announcement or anything is people aren't there, so they want to ask. They don't look or anything.
Yeah, and the person who's never had an audience.
People won't research things. They say use the Discord or something like that. People will not. You have to literally tell them one by one what happened.
They've never experienced this. They think to themselves, I asked a question. How hard is it just to answer my question? You don't realize that when you get 100 people screaming at you for something that you've already explained, it's overwhelming.
I see it going through my unbanned forums is that for every person who thinks they did an innocent joke where they say, you know, whatever the hell it is, where they're counting or spamming, there are like literally 20 more people for that exact week that I have to go through and check their bans and unbans as well.
Yep.
So you are part of a mass, and the mass is very consistent, and there's not a lot of originality in it. Let's tackle one more question from Tactical Tickler.
Okay.
Because I think it's important. He says, question for you too. Would you say only less than 1% succeed because they're not honest with themselves and their content? Do they mistakenly pursue a dream when the reality is it isn't as simple and easy as it seems? Most people's content is and I don't think that they think about that. And I think the ultimate litmus test is, are you willing to send your stream or your videos to your friends and family and be like, hey, check out what I did?
How many people actually that stream or make content actually involve their parents? And that's a question for comments or anything like that. Just answer if you can. How many of you actually go out and give all this to your friends and tell them to follow and tell them actually to watch and actually give you feedback? Because a friend will watch, they won't like watch because if they don't care, but they're your friends, so they'll watch and give you the view. But how many of them will actually give you feedback? Like, are you gonna give this to your closest people to be like, yo, tell me what you really thought? And especially during the good times and the bad times, like how do you feel about that? It's kind of something.
And if you're not, it's not good enough and you should change it.
I think there are a lot of reasons people fail. I think lack of creativity is one of them. I think there are a handful of others, but I think a big one is that. I think a big one is people don't realize what it takes to be a content creator and how much effort you have to put into it. And they think, hey, here's Shroud playing video games and making millions of dollars. All I have to do is play video games and make millions of dollars.
It's so much work. It's so much work. And those who succeed put in tremendous amount of work. Last video, I said it. You have to work harder than the people at the top. You see them there. If you feel like they're coasting, they work their off to get there, and they're reaping the benefits.
Say, I like video games. I want to play video games for a living, and they don't realize how little, unless you're pro.
Yeah.
And not even just pro, unless you're good pro. You can't, that's not what it is. It is, I play more video games off stream than I play on stream because that's not what it is. It's not a video game career. It's a production career. And you have to put that effort into it. So yeah, I think a big part of it is kids who say
that is a huge thing right there. Is people need to realize 2021 and forward, streaming is not about playing your video games and stuff like that. If you actually want to make it a career, it's about interactivity, finding your niche, bringing people into your streams through other avenues, and being a relatable person. It's not about, I play this game and we're gonna make it. That's not what they're there for. If you look at all the big people, they always have like a big just chatting feature, and they talk to their community, they level with their community, they're interactive with their community, and then they have high representatives in their community to chat. That's where I'm missing the whole like interactivity and leveling with everybody. It's like I try to be present always in Discord and always trying to be there for everybody, but it's, you know, not as strong as other communities. That's just how it is. But we have to build, and we have to get back to where we were due to everything that happened and all this stuff that's going on. We just got to get back to where we were, and we got to rebuild the community and get people that are interactive with everybody else and be part of the community. And that's the whole thing, is when you see it, all the people that grow, they have a good foundation of bedrock of people, and those people champion for that creator, that person, and they drive the content with that person. And that person doesn't necessarily have to ask them to do anything. They're just inviting anybody that talks in chat. It's just like, hey, everybody's talking, everybody's having a good time. Mods are greeting people that are special to the chat that like know the creators, like, hey, we'll answer all your questions, we'll be here for you. Anybody new, they're felt welcome into the stream. They're not alienated for being part of your stream. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but
I like video games. I want to be a video gamer for a living.
But leveling with your community and talking to them is
also,
very important.
Even if you think of Shroud, imagine Shroud at one point had to go to his mom or pop and be like, hey, I want to be a competitive video game player. And he had to be good enough to say that confidently and then follow through with it and deal with the conversations that probably...
It's all about proving someone wrong. So if you're like, I'm going to do X. Well, once you say you're going to do X, you have to put in the 100% to do X. Otherwise, you might as well get out.
It's easy to become a pro gamer. I think that's a very hard thing to come out to your parents and tell them that that's what you want to do. You have to be really good at a video game for them to A, even begin to accept it, and B, to prove them wrong.
My mom yelled at me when I was 29.
Damn.
My mom is like the most hands-off, hey, we raised you right, you do your own thing. I'd already been a full-time content creator for 5 years. We already had that Vine success, made a lot of money for a little bit. I had experience more than anyone else did. And I was trying to stream, and she called me and she's like, what are you doing with your life? You're sitting there playing video games? Yeah. And, you know, she was also fortunately the lady who was like, hey, prove me wrong. You know, nothing. I would love nothing more than you to prove me wrong. But like, that was the most off brand for her. As a 29-year-old who had been a content creator full time, my mom yelled at me for trying to be a content creator. So it's very hard to tell your parents what you're trying to do.
29 seems crazy late to jump into that speech. I feel like she should have hit you at 24 with that one.
You know, surprisingly, she was more okay with it the first time. But I think that's only because she hates video games.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it's
And
the video
guess
games that
first
did
thing
it.
was music.
Yeah, my mom always thought video games were a waste of time. Joke's on her.
That was a good video. So yeah, that was a good video, and we're back at it again. So, you know, if anything else pops up, I'll do one more of these, but I think we should delve into more of this YouTube conversation that we're having and how I think it's more important than Twitch overall. So it's definitely very informative. It's definitely something that I enjoy talking about and thinking about and helping everybody else around here. If you're here, then you already know to follow Alpha Gaming. Check out Ludwig. They're amazing content creators, and there are aspirations out there that do things that one day I will be doing and being able to help the people I want to help. So if you enjoyed the video, obviously like, comment, hopefully you comment, and then share it, and we'll see you in the next one.